we reveal the real value of old coins and their history on the ultimate channel for collectors, Numis Nerd.
Jefferson Nickel doesn't just look like an ordinary mid-century coin. It's one of the greatest modern rarities in American coinage. For collectors, this Denver issue has been famous for decades, nicknamed the King of Jeffersons, and it's a coin that has brought everything from solid four-figure prices in high grade to auction results that reach deep into six figures when errors or exceptional quality come into play. Let's start with the design. The obverse carries Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson, with the word Liberty and the date 1950 to the right. The reverse shows Monticello, Jefferson's home, with the denomination 5 cents in United States of America. The Denver Mint struck these coins, marked with the D Mint mark placed to the right of Monticello. Each coin weighs 5 grams, struck in the standard copper-nickel alloy, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Now the reason for its fame: the mintage was only 2.6 million coins. That is the lowest mintage of the entire Jefferson Nickel series, and one of the lowest of any regular issue coin of the 20th century. Right from the start, collectors knew this coin was special. Dealers and the public hoarded rolls by the thousands, often never letting them circulate. That hoarding is why most 1950 nickels today are found in mint state condition. But here's the twist: while rolls were saved, the true rarities are in condition. A nice MS-63 might sell for $50 and MS-64 brings $25. At MS-65, the price climbs to $250. Then comes MS-66, where values jump to $1,000 and higher. The big money comes with the full steps. Designation, a grading standard that requires sharp detail on the steps of Monticello. These are extremely tough to find. A 1950D and MS-66 full steps sold for $5,750. An MS-67 full steps, nearly flawless, stunned collectors at $17,250, and in 2021, one of the finest ever certified, a PCGS MS-67 Plus full steps, shocked the market when it sold for $32,400. And then there are the errors. A 1950D off-center strike sold for $2,250. A broad strike brought $1,900. A double strike realized $3,500. Transitional planche errors are even more dramatic. One example struck on a leftover silver blank sold for $48,600. Another on a some planche realized $72,000. And the monster, a 1950D double denomination error, a Jefferson nickel struck over a Roosevelt dime, shook the hobby when it sold for $210,000. The historical context makes it even more fascinating. Post-war America was booming. The Denver Mint was working at full capacity, and the demand for coins was high, but for reasons still debated, possibly overproduction in other years and lower regional demand. Denver struck only 2.6 million nickels in 1950. That tiny number compared to hundreds of millions in surrounding years made collectors swoop in and hoard them immediately. Unlike most modern rarities discovered decades later, the 1950D was a sensation right from day one. So where do you find one today? Estate collections, inherited rolls, and old safety deposit boxes are the best sources. Many rolls of uncirculated 1950D nickels are still sitting untouched. The trick is finding examples with blazing luster and sharp strikes. Always look at Monticello's steps. If they're sharp, you may be holding a coin worth thousands. Certification is critical. A raw coin from a roll might sell for $20, but in a PCGS or NGC holder with a full steps designation, the price can leap into 5 figures. Errors must be certified to unlock their true value. That's how the $210,000 double denomination error became a once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Selling depends on what you've got. Common mint state examples do well on eBay and at local shows. Gem quality and full steps coins sell best through great collections. But the top-tier pieces, the 17250 MS67 FS, the 3400 MS67 Plus FS, or the $210,000 mint error are heritage auctions or Stack's Bowers material, where the biggest players compete. The 1950D Jefferson Nickel is more than just a coin. It's a landmark in U.S. numismatics. a rarity that has thrilled collectors for over 70 years. From face value change to six-figure errors, it shows that even a nickel can change your life. So the next time you see a Jefferson nickel with a 1950 date and a D mint mark, don't pass it by. Because this is the king of Jeffersons. And it might just be the nickel that turns spare change into a fortune. The 1946 Jefferson nickel looks like an ordinary coin at first glance, but it carries an important place in U.S. coin history. It marked the first year back to the standard copper-nickel alloy after the World War II. Silver nickels of 1942 to 1945. Millions were struck, but as always conditions strike, and rare minting mistakes are what turn this coin into something worth thousands, and in the rarest cases, over six figures. Let's begin with the design. The obverse shows Felix Schlegel's portrait of Thomas Jefferson, with Liberty and the date 1946 along the right edge. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's home, with the denomination 5 cents in United States of America. Unlike the Silver War nickels, the 1946 coin carries no oversized mint mark above Monticello. Instead, if there is a mint mark, it's a small letter to the right of Monticello. Each coin weighs 5 grams, measures 21.2 millimeters, and is made of copper and nickel. In terms of production, the numbers were huge. Over 161 million nickels were struck in Philadelphia, nearly 46 million in Denver, and around 13.5 million in San Francisco. With totals like that, the coin isn't rare in low grades. Circulated examples trade for face value, maybe 25 to 50 cents if worn. But gem quality survivors tell a completely different story. A Philadelphia example in MS65 might sell for $20. In MS66, it can reach $90. But at MS67, the price jumps to $2,500. Then came the shockers. One blazing MS67 with flawless luster sold for $5 and $20, and another in MS67 Plus, with incredible eye appeal, brought $18,600. For collectors, those numbers prove how tough true gems are for this date. Denver coins follow a similar pattern. An MS66 sells for $20 and MS67 jumps to $200. A top-end MS67 Plus set a record when it realized $2,500 in San Francisco, with the lowest mintage of the year, is even tougher. A 1946S in MS66 full steps sold for $3,600. In MS67 FS, prices have crossed $9,000. And one of the finest known examples shocked the market at $24,000. The full steps designation is especially important in 1946. Weak strikes were common, so a nickel with sharp steps on Monticello is extremely desirable. A Philadelphia MS66 FS hit $4,800, while an MS67 FS is worth over $20,000. But the wildest numbers come from errors. A 1946 double die obverse showing clear. Doubling on In God We Trust sold for $7,200 off-center. Strikes with full dates have realized $800. A broad strike brought $250, and then came the transitional errors. A handful of 1946 nickels were accidentally struck on leftover silver planches from 945. One of these transitional silver errors sold for $48,600. Another, certified by PCGS as mint state, brought an incredible $10,000, pushing the 1946 nickel into six-figure territory. The history adds more weight to this coin. After 3 years of wartime production, the mint went back to the classic copper-nickel alloy in 1946. For collectors, that makes this issue a first-year-back type coin. Always an attractive feature. It bridges the wartime series with the modern run of nickels that continue today. So how do you find one? Rolls, estate collections, and coin shops often have 1946 nickels mixed in. Check every example for strike quality. Look closely at Monticello's steps with magnification. And weigh suspicious pieces. Standard nickels should be exactly 5 grams, but a silver transitional error will come in lighter at 4.9 grams. Selling depends on what you've got. Average circulated coins move easily on eBay. Mint state pieces can sell through dealers or great collections. But if you uncover a full steps gem, or even better, a silver transitional error, you'll want it certified by PCGS or NGC and sent to Heritage or Stax Bowers. That's where the $24,000 full steps coins and the $2 or $10,000 Transitional errors have set their records. The 1946 Jefferson Nickel proves once again that even the most common-looking coin can hide extraordinary value. From a handful of cents in worn condition to 6 figures in rare errors, it stands as a reminder that every coin in your pocket has a story worth uncovering. So the next time you see a nickel with the date 1946, stop and look closer, because you might just be holding a small piece of history worth a life-changing fortune. The 1947 Jefferson Nickel may look like just another mid-century coin, but it's one of those issues that teaches collectors how ordinary change can hold extraordinary value. Millions were struck at all 3 mints, yet sharp, well-struck gems are rare, and dramatic mint errors push this coin into the kind of price levels that leave people stunned, from a few thousand to well into 6 figures. Let's start with the basics. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse shows Jefferson's profile with Liberty and the date 1947 to the right. The reverse depicts Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, with the denomination 5 cents in United States of America. Mint marks, D for Denver or S for San Francisco, appear to the right of Monticello, while Philadelphia coins carry no mint mark. Each weighs 5 grams, measures 21.2 millimeters, and is struck in copper nickel. The mintage was large, over 95 million from Philadelphia, 37.8 million from Denver, and 24.7 million from San Francisco. That means circulated coins are still common today, often worth only face value to maybe 25 cents. But high-grade survivors tell a completely different story. Take Philadelphia coins. An MS-66 example might sell for $50, but MS-67s are rare. One brought plain 20. Then came the jump, a near-perfect MS-67 Plus set a record at 18,600. Denver coins are even tougher in gem condition. A 1947D and MS-66 trades around $200. An MS-67 jumps to $2,180. Then an elite MS-67 Plus dazzled the market when it hammered for $16,450. San Francisco issues are notorious for weak strikes, so finding one with sharp detail is a challenge. An MS-66 might fetch $140, but full steps examples tell the real story. 1947S in MS-65 FS brought $4,800. At MS-66 FS, prices reached $9,300, and one of the finest known, an MS-67 full steps, sold for a jaw-dropping $24,000. Errors on the 1947 nickel push it even higher. A dramatic off-center strike with a full date sold for $2,200. A broad strike realized with $1,750. A double strike brought $3,000s. Then came the rare transitional mistakes. A small number of 1947 nickels were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from the wartime years. One of these transitional silver errors sold for $42,000. Another, graded mint state by PCGS, shocked collectors when it realized an incredible $325,000 at auction. The history adds weight to this coin. By 1947, the U.S. was firmly in the post-war era. The war nickels of 1942 to 1945 were already history, and the mint was back to full copper nickel production. America was entering a period of booming prosperity, and these nickels quietly became part of that everyday story. So how do you find one? Check rolls, old jars, and collections. Look for sharp luster and clean surfaces. Pay special attention to Monticello's steps, since full steps coins bring the highest premiums. And don't forget to weigh them. A standard 1947 nickel should be exactly 5 grams. If it's underweight at about 4.9 grams, you could be holding one of those ultra-rare transitional silver errors, worth tens of thousands or more. When it comes to selling, circulated examples move easily on eBay. Gem mint state coins do well at great collections. But the real money, the $18,600 MS-67 Plus, the $24,000 full steps gem, or the $325,000 transitional silver error, those belong in the big auction houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers, where serious collectors chase once-in-a-lifetime coins. The 1947 Jefferson Nickel proves that even coins with massive mintages can hide shocking rarities, from a few cents in worn condition to over 300,000 in extraordinary cases. It's a coin that continues to surprise the hobby. So the next time you see a nickel dated 1947, take a closer look, because what seems like just pocket change might actually be the key to unlocking a small fortune.